Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Bold and the Beautiful recap is finally here for Monday, May 19, 2025. In today's episode, Steffy Forrester Finnegan, Jacqueline Missinswood, extends an olive branch. Meanwhile, Liam Spencer, Scott Clifton, gets an update on the brain tumor. Also, Daphne Rose, Muriel Hilaire, tries to console a heartbroken Carter Walton, Lawrence St. Victor. Hope Logan, Annika Noel, stares at a family photo. Her daydreaming is interrupted by knocking. It's Steffy who comes in the door. Make sure to check out our next week B&B spoilers here. Hope says she is grateful as she would never have known about Liam's diagnosis if it weren't for her. The women talk about losing Liam. They need to come together, Steffy says. Liam's diagnosis was a big wake-up call. Hope says fighting with Steffy was such a waste of time. Liam wants them to find peace and forgiveness. Steffy extends an olive branch and asks Hope to come back to Forrester Creations. This means so much to Hope. The blonde apologizes for the takeover and Steffy reminds her that they're family. Hope wants to make sure Beth Spencer, Jordan Lynn Ariza, can have time with Elam. Steffy agrees and they pray for a miracle. At the hospital, Liam is in John Finn Finnegan's, Tanner Novlin, office. Liam talks about Hope finding out about his diagnosis. Finn asks if he's upset. At first, it seems like he is, but then he is relieved. Liam is shocked by how much Hope cares about him. Liam says it's one thing to know that someone cares, and it's another to really feel it. Liam really felt it with Hope. After another brain scan, Liam is nervous. He starts rambling and asking a lot of questions. Finally, the results are in. Unfortunately, Finn tells the patient that nothing has changed. All of a sudden, Liam can hear Finn, but the words keep echoing and fading away. After a few moments, Liam says in a heart-wrenching voice that he has to say goodbye to his children, Kelly and Beth. At the loft, Daphne and Carter continue to discuss Hope. The nose was right all along. Daphne encourages the COO to forget about Hope. All he ever wanted was a family. He thought he could have that with Hope. Carter wants a wife, the kids, the whole thing. Carter truly believed he had that with Hope. Daphne insists love isn't supposed to be complicated. Daphne stares in Carter's eyes as he gazes back. Monday's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful offered a powerful cocktail of remorse, revelation, and unexpected tenderness. As the sun broke over the Forrester estate, the fallout from recent tensions lingered in the air like smoke after a fire. The characters struggled with guilt, grief, and the echoes of choices they wish they could take back. Let's unpack this roller coaster of an episode. One where Steffy took responsibility, Finn delivered heartbreaking news, and Daphne revealed surprising emotional depth. Steffy Forrester, wounds, words, and the first step toward healing. At the Cliff House, the mood was subdued. Steffy stood in front of the sliding glass doors, watching the ocean waves crash against the rocks. Dressed in muted tones, her expression was one of internal conflict. She had spent the night replaying her harsh words, her explosive accusations, and her misplaced anger. The confrontation with Luna had left more than just emotional shrapnel, it had shaken her sense of right and wrong. Steffy finally turned to Finn, who had just walked in from checking on the kids. "I need to make this right," she said, her voice tight but sincere. Finn eyed her carefully. "You sure about that? You were pretty convinced yesterday," Steffy winced. "I let fear and jealousy cloud everything. I thought Luna was a threat, that she was turning you against me. But I see now, I was the one unraveling." Finn softened slightly. "It takes a lot to admit that. I want to apologize to Luna. I want to apologize to RJ. I need to be better, for our family. I was wrong." Finn, still carrying emotional bruises of his own, simply nodded. "That's a start." And with that, Steffy picked up her phone and dialed a number she'd never imagined she would call so soon. Luna and RJ. A morning of recovery and reflection. Meanwhile, at the Logan mansion, Luna was curled up on the couch with a blanket around her shoulders, sipping herbal tea. RJ sat beside her, one arm around her, the other scrolling through his phone, as texts of concern poured in from friends and family. The events of the past few days had left them raw. "Do you think Steffi meant it?" Luna asked softly. "When she said I was manipulating everyone," RJ sighed. "I think she meant it in the moment, but she was angry, not rational. She looked at me like I was the enemy, like I was stealing her husband." RJ touched her hand gently. "You didn't do anything wrong. You're not the villain in this story, Luna." Before Luna could reply, her phone buzzed. It was a text from Steffi. "Can we meet? I owe you an apology." Luna blinked. Wow, RJ looked over her shoulder. "Do you want to?" "Yeah, I don't know," Luna admitted. "But I think I have to." At Forrester Creations. Tension, apologies, and a long-awaited confrontation. Later that morning, Steffi arrived at Forrester Creations and requested to meet Luna and RJ in the executive office. The energy in the room was thick with anticipation as Luna entered with RJ close behind. Steffi stood by the window, her back straight but her eyes vulnerable. "Thank you for coming," Steffi began. Luna nodded, but said nothing. Steffi took a deep breath. "I was wrong, completely wrong. I was scared of losing Finn, scared of losing control, scared of how close you two had become. And I took that fear out on you." Luna swallowed hard, her voice steady but tight. "You humiliated me in front of everyone. You called me a liar, a seductress. You made me feel like trash." "I know," Steffi said, pain flashing across her face. "And I hate that I did that. I let my pride and insecurity cloud my judgment. I didn't want to see you as someone who was struggling or in pain. I wanted to protect my marriage, but I went about it the wrong way." Luna's eyes shimmered. "Thank you for saying that." "I'm not asking for forgiveness," Steffi added quickly. "But I hope someday you can." Archie stepped forward, his protective instincts still on high alert. "And what about your accusations about Luna and me having some secret plan? That we were trying to break you and Finn up." "I was spiraling," Steffi admitted. "I lost perspective. I'm sorry, RJ. I shouldn't have doubted your character, or Luna's." There was a long pause. Heavy, but not hopeless. Then Luna spoke. "It will take time. But this was a good start." Finn's grim diagnosis. While Steffi was extending olive branches, Finn was across town at University Hospital, reviewing a troubling patient file. The silence in the room was broken only by the soft tapping of keys and the beeping of machines. His brow furrowed deeply as he reread the results. Moments later, his supervisor, Dr. Griffin, entered. "You saw the test panel." "Yes," Finn replied grimly. "Stage IV. And it's aggressive." "Has the patient been told?" "Not yet. She's waiting in the exam room." Finn closed the file with a sigh. "I'll tell her." He entered the room where an older woman sat, a patient he'd been treating for months. He took a seat beside her, his usual composure more fragile than normal. "I wish I had better news," he began, his voice measured. "But your cancer has progressed." The woman's face crumbled, but she remained stoic. "How long?" Finn hesitated. "Months. With treatment, we might extend that. But it's time to start talking about next steps." As he spoke gently but firmly, offering every ounce of compassion he could, it was clear the weight of the news was pressing hard on his own heart. Finn prided himself on being a healer. But sometimes even heroes can't save the day. Daphne's unexpected comfort. Back at Forrester Creations, Daphne, the poised, enigmatic new executive assistant who had been flying under the radar, noticed Finn arriving late in the afternoon, looking emotionally drained. Most people gave him space, sensing something was wrong. But Daphne approached quietly, with a warmth in her tone that was both surprising and comforting. "You okay, Dr. Finnegan?" Finn offered a tight smile. Rough day. She handed him a cup of tea. Chamomile. I keep a stash for days like this. He accepted it, mildly amused. You psychic now too? I just know that look, Daphne said. I used to volunteer at a children's hospice. That look is all too familiar. Finn raised an eyebrow. I didn't know that. There's a lot people don't know about me, she said simply. He gave a small laugh. You're kind of an enigma. Sometimes mysteries are safer than truths, she replied cryptically. Finn nodded slowly. You ever wonder why we do it? Help people, even when we know it won't be enough. All the time, Daphne admitted. But then I remember, maybe it's not about saving everyone. Maybe it's just about making them feel seen, understood, even for a moment. Her words hit him harder than expected. You ever think about going back? Finn asked. She shook her head. Not anymore. Too many ghosts. There was a silence, not awkward, but profound. In that brief exchange, Daphne gave Finn what no one else could that day. Understanding without expectation. Final scenes. Ripples of change. As the episode wound down, the music swelled softly in the background. The camera panned through each of the main characters in quiet moments of reflection. Steffy, standing alone in her office, looking at a family photo and wiping a tear from her eye, finally seeing the cost of her actions. Luna, sitting on the couch beside RJ, resting her head on his shoulder, hopeful but still guarded. Finn, back at home, holding his children tightly, their laughter grounding him after a day of emotional turmoil. And Daphne, alone at her desk, pulling out a photo from her drawer. A little boy with bright eyes and a mischievous grin. She traced her finger over his face before carefully putting it away again. Closing thoughts. Monday's bold and the beautiful episode didn't just push the story forward, it deepened it. Steffy's apology wasn't just a plot device, it was the beginning of a possible transformation. Finn's bad news reminded viewers that even our most composed heroes carry burdens we may never see. And Daphne, once merely a background presence, stepped into a new light, revealing a heart forged by pain and healing. This was an episode about humility, humanity, and how even in the glamorous world of high fashion and high drama, the real beauty lies in forgiveness, connection, and courage. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our Boldy and BAVTFUL UPDAT YouTube channel for more update news.